here now. We just have breakfast in the morning and a very beautiful talk already. And do you want to tell a little bit about yourself? Who are you and where are you from?
So I'm Jenny. I came from Canada about a month ago to Portugal. I love it here. It's warmer, things are fresh, people are really super nice. Just the history that it has here really drew me to coming out to this country, and so I sold everything that I owned in Canada and made the move, which is crazy. I can't believe I'm here. Like, oh my god, it worked. Back in Canada, I was working in the film and television industry, doing hair and makeup for movies and commercials and weddings and all that kind of stuff. And I loved it. Like, it was my dream job for many years, 15 years. But just something was always inside me saying, I want to live in Europe. I want to try something different. I want to start over and see, what you can make of it. So flash forward to being here. My aunt and I opened a sustainable lifestyle boutique in Portugal. All sustainable Portuguese brands. It's kind of that North American collaborative boutique style, but really local to here, which is really cool. And so I do the designs of the store and the creative direction of how it looks and the marketing, and she runs it and styles people, and it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. It's like one reason why I really wanted to have an episode with you as well is because you're very like a creative and powerful woman. So you basically, as you just said, I sold all my stuff. My belongings in Canada, and I just moved here. And it sounds so fresh when you're saying all of this. And I mean, I have been also through a lot of changes and just like doing it, having the courage to do so. But has that been something that was always easy for you since you're little, or something that evolved throughout the time? How was that process for you?
I think I've always loved travel and like doing it, and you go on the family vacations and stuff, which are very different. Usually it's a resort, it's 1 week, that kind of thing. So with different activities that I've done throughout life, it's given me different travel opportunities. So for example, with makeup, I competed around the world in 6 different international competitions. So I got to take my hobby, my career, and pack it in one suitcase and go for it and try to represent Canada or myself or whatever in those different countries. So that kind of gave me some opportunities. With gymnastics, I also got to travel. I went to Worlds in Switzerland in 2011. So that was same, independent thing with a team that was aside from my family. So there's different moments that I've branched out. I think the weirdest parallel that I've noticed is working on set. So we actually travel day by day. Like it's, unload the trailer, set up your station, shoot in one location, pack it up at night, they drive your truck somewhere else, and you show up, you work there. So you're kind of always on the road in that way. So somehow it feels more comfortable to me to be either in a trailer, on set, traveling, seeing new things all the time. It's when I'm working in like the same place every day that I start to panic. So I think it's kind of both.
So you like change
within me, but kind of the different career paths that I've chose align with it.
I think a lot of people that are listening to this podcast right now, they can really click with this like multi-passional, like this, I like that, and I want to do a little bit of everything. So I think that's pretty much what you're summing up with your whole being as well. That's probably why we're also feeling attracted to each other and are sitting here now. And I wanted to tell a little bit more about, because people might think like, okay, why do we guys know each other and stuff? So like basically your aunt is doing this boutique in Portugal here, and I was getting to know her and did workshops in her space, or still I do group coachings in there. And it's very interesting because she's already like very iconic in my eyes. Like she's a very like powerful woman, but very empathic, and has all these ideas of, hey, let's do it. And you have pretty much the same style, and you're her niece, right?
Yeah.
So it's also something funny because, I mean, we got to know each other now before already, so, but for all of those that don't know you, so it's pretty much that you and your aunt are the ones in your family that are like that, right?
Yeah.
Move in other countries, let's do it. And your parents what are your parents doing? For those who are listening and thinking, yeah, okay, maybe they already learned from small age on, but that's not the case, right?
Yeah, no, my parents are more IT, computer, oil and gas driven. Calgary, where I come from, is very, oil and gas city. So they had the more traditional job, nothing wrong with that. But in a sense, it was them being like, okay, if you want to do this, I don't know how to help you. You'll have to figure it out, but we're there to support you. So being very different from how my family is, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do the film industry. I was in the circus at one point. I'm going to do all these different things. And they're just like, okay. Like, we're here. We'll show up at your shows. We'll, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, when I said I was going to move away and do all these other things, and Terry, my aunt, is more similar to me personality-wise that way. And it's really interesting because we realized through the generations, there was like great aunt that left at 33 to leave Canada and come out to Europe. There was my aunt that also left at 33 to leave Canada, come to Europe, and now I'm just turned 33 like a week after, or a month after. Sorry. Yeah. I just turned 33 a month after I landed here. So yeah, it's just kind of like these synchronicities. It's like, okay, yep, I am the chosen one. I will do it. I will move away and report back.
So cool. I love that. I'm also 33.
Yeah.
So it's very, I feel what you're saying. And so your biggest project right now is basically that you sold your house in Canada and decided to buy a big piece of land here in Portugal, right? Do you want to, because I know this is your passion and your heart project, so do you want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, so...
And do you want to put your hair a little bit, because I'm not sure if the microphone, but just let's continue.
Sure.
Yeah.
So through, it sounds so dramatic, but through my 8 months of, very cold winters in Canada, sitting around just thinking there's got to be more to life, because I feel like in that 8 months, a lot of the times I'm inside, I'm not seeing the sun, everything's indoor, like something about when I go to Portugal just feels so instantly like calming and refreshing, and all these, life things that are small and intangible just seem to surface, and it's like, okay, I'm living in my house in the city where you just hear cars, or you don't hear birds singing because it's so cold in winter, like it's dead quiet. So a lot of that being like, okay, I want to end up in Portugal, how do I get there? And I always had a dream of building tiny homes, but in Canada it's not as common. I did an internship with a tiny home company, kind of dabbled a little bit just to see if it was possible, but with the winters again, it's, most of the year you have to have this extra layer of expenses, whether it's snow removal or the cost of being out in the middle of nowhere and trying to just physically get to the tiny house. Your living room can't be outside most of the year unless you love the snow, and some people do. But for me, I'm like, okay, that's, it's much more of an indoor living place. So when I came out here, I sort of discovered this almost underground community of people that are more natural. They're, living these lifestyles that are more in nature, and people crave that. And I was like, okay, this is the place. Like, there's the support's already there. The people that want this idea is already there. So my big idea is to have a sustainable tiny home community where, you can eat off the land, you have some renewable resources, things are furnished by companies made in Portugal, people can come, stay long-term, short-term, but really get an essence of that and how to live just a little bit more simply, even though it has all the amenities of a luxury place. You have your running water and all these things, but it's just made in a way that is more in touch with nature and more conscious. So yeah, I sold everything that I own, which was crazy because it took 2 years. I'm so tired of marketplace. But yeah, sold it all, and my goal was to see, okay, can I sell at the top of the market? What can I get monetary wise to switch it in for a piece of land? But finding that piece of land is difficult because, it has to be the one. You have to have that feeling. It can't just be an open field, or maybe it could, but there's so many factors. I'm like, I'll know when I know. Yeah. So I'd come back and forth for a couple times a year and look at land, and my aunt and I would drive around, do these loops, look at all the areas. I didn't actually find the land until I got back to Canada, and I was like, okay, I found this radius of 20 minutes, half an hour. Anywhere there, I'd be thrilled. So I started to narrow down the area that I wanted, got home, looked online, this. I'm like, okay, I just got home. But I found it, I was like, hey Aunt, can you go look at this and tell me if it's like a scam? Like, who knows, right? You're not there. And yeah, they video called me in with the realtor, and I was like, that's the one. Like, I'll take it. So then I knew at least what I would need to purchase and what I need to give up in Canada to get that, so that narrowed down my scheming on how to get there. But it was crazy. I use the word synchronicity a lot and meant to be, but the house, I sold it, and almost to the dollar, converting it to euros, was the land. So I'm like, that's the one.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, like standing there making the deal with the seller, like, oh my god, what does that mean in euros? Like, what do we have? What are we working with? So yeah, was able to secure it, and it's beautiful.
What kind of thoughts were supporting you to be like, that's the one, and I want to do that now? Like, what do you think, where do you take this courage from?
A lot of the feeling of knowing if it was the one was just the energy that it gave. It was already someone else's dream to build something with multiple units on the land. So they actually carved out different areas. So there's, this garden already. There's this chicken coop kind of animal area already. They already tiered off the land because it was on quite a bit of a hill, but they already tiered it off so you can really see it. Like, when I saw it, I was like, that is templated for what's in my head. This is crazy. Like, you have to drive in. It had all the little moments of, you have this with a view spot. You can look this way, you're in the forest. Like, just the variety within a manageable size. And a lot of the listings online were like 50 hectares of land, and I'm like, that's overwhelming. Like, instant anxiety.
Yeah.
So this one's, 1 hectare is usable. There's still nature and view, and it's close to the city. So on paper, it really worked, but it was the energy that I could see through the videos and photos that came with it, and how much passion the previous owner had to it. Like, they loved it, but they had to give it up and sell it. So I'm like, I promise you I'll do good things with it.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel, so it's more about the vision you're putting in, like I feel you tried an error, you checked the error with your aunt, and you saw what was like the thing that you feel attracted to. Because whenever you're explaining and you're talking about it, you're already visualizing everything like as if it's real, as if it's already there.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's something I realized with you when we're talking a lot of times, because I remember just today when you arrived, you were like so excited showing me all these like paintings that are already like how do you say, scratches?
Like little renderings and
like the landscape and where should be what, and having like this vision board style that I do with my clients also a lot. We do these vision journeys, and I mean that's basically afterwards, first to get into the feeling, because our intuition knows already what we would love to live and stuff. Once we're focusing on that, and then feeling into it, and then even putting pictures in it. And that's what you naturally do, right? So like you showed me this like picture, like dreamy castle style, like Hobbit land with like all these like little beautiful houses, and I think that makes it also as if it's real already, right? I mean, for you, when you're talking about it, I already can picture myself doing a pottery workshop over there, or a yoga session, and maybe staying for a little bit on the land with you guys and something. So it's like, I feel that you're already living that without that it's even existing, right?
I think, that's something I definitely do, is manifest and visualize. And there's many, bath sessions with me, myself, and I back in Canada, being like, okay, this is what I envision me, moving, and what does that feel like? And trying to already embody what that feels like. I like to think if I feel anxiety, I'm not in alignment. And that's something that I always live by, whether it's like a relationship or a job or anything like that. If it gives you some sort of unease, then I feel like it's not meant for you, because everything that is and the things that you enjoy, you want more of it.
Yes.
So there was many of those where even with the land, I would sit there and I'd be like, okay, I'm at the land, feeling it out, like, is this how there was a moment where I was like, oh my god, it's going to be so dark, and there's going to be bugs, and it might be cold. That's going to be great. And it's like just trying to imagine all the different things to see how that would feel, instead of living in the clouds kind of thing, which it still feels like I'm living in the clouds here because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, am I dead? Like, did I die and this is heaven?
Is
Like,
that
what is going
the reality right now?
Is this
Yeah.
my reality? So yeah, so when I saw the land after looking at the photos and videos and just like imagining being there, it was like I'd already been there, which was so cool. So I was like, okay, I feel like I'm connecting the pieces. Sometimes, you know, you're like, oh, I thought this tree was over there a bit more, but it's actually lower, or different things like that. But the overall feeling was like, yes, this is, confirmed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever had, when you were in Canada, like a moment that you were like feeling like a little bit lost or something? That some people have these moments in life, and also like when I stepped out of my corporate job, and then I felt like, okay, it's funny, I never felt lost, I would say, but it was more a feeling of like, ooh, what's gonna be next? Like, I was very like curious and be like, okay, let's try it all out now, like let's go wild. So how was your, like, have you ever had also this point where you felt like, oh damn, I need to change something, or oh, what's gonna be next? You had moments like that?
Yeah, I would agree with you where it's not necessarily lost, and it's not like I didn't like my job. I've been fortunate to always like what I've been doing, but I've also been very intentional with that, where it's like, I'm not going to work a day in my life. Like, I'm going to do what I like to do and make it work, kind of thing. So even though I would love my job and I'd be standing there, we'd work 18-hour days doing all this, you know, you have a sense of community and you have all these things that check all these boxes, but it's also like you get to this point where you feel like you kind of plateaued a little bit, and you can try to learn new skills, you can try to do the stuff, but you kind of see where the hill goes and how high it gets, and you're like, okay, I can see it, that's good enough for me, I want to keep learning, I'm going to start at the bottom again, take something else, like, you know, I'll have to learn how to garden, I can't keep a plant alive for the life of me, but we're going to make it happen. And just learning more about sustainability and learning a new language and new measuring system. Even when I would do design stuff back at home, the whole system's different. So I'm like, yes, I want to feel in some way like I'm starting again and struggling again. I think that's so cool. It just keeps your brain going and motivated. So take what you learn from one and apply it to the next. But I swear even the stapler was different the other day. It's like, I can't load it. What is happening? So yeah, I would say it's more that feeling of plateauing, knowing where it goes in some way, that you're like, okay, time to switch it up. You can always go back, but it's time to like switch it up and start learning again
and make it happen, I guess. Like, that's pretty much like, also when I think about, like, when I right after school, I pretty much entered in the company where I was working before and studied with them and everything, and felt very natural for me to work with 18 already and stuff. And going abroad, like to Florida for 1 semester abroad for scholarship, and then to Portugal for half a year working with a company and stuff. And once I left, I was like, wow, now there's so much time now, let's see. So I mean, I left in quite a frustrated place. I was like, this is too much, I was stressed, I was like feeling very emotional all over the place, and I felt like, no, this can't be it. But once I stepped out, I figured out I'm high sensitive. I felt like, oh wow, there's so many energies that I'm feeling, and I'm very conscious actually. And before I was very unconscious. I was just like acting towards what's happening around me, rather than acting because I wanted to do that this way. And that was a big shift, I think. And once I did that, I felt like, wow, I did, for instance, the meditation pillow for my yoga teacher training, which I was planning to do in Bali. And once I was there, they were all excited about what I created there. So I came back and I said, oh, I will improve that product now and sell it maybe. And so I did also like a sewing class just for 1 hour, just to know how to sew cotton, to do an inlet and stuff. So, and that was so much fun. Like just thinking like, okay, I need this, okay, how can I learn this skill and then make it work right away. So I feel what you're saying is like, pretty much it was also feeling pretty much natural for me and so much fun. Because then it's like, of course it's in try and error as well. And some people maybe, like, I think it's a matter of perspective. If someone says, oh, I'm so lost, that's also actually good, because it's like realizing how the feeling is that's actually there in that moment. Because if we are losing track when we're driving somewhere, it's better to know what to put in the navigation system.
Yeah.
So it's good to admit like, okay, oh, I'm lost now, so I have to adjust that navigation, rather than being like, oh, I know perfectly where I am, and then going wherever, you know. So I think it's a good thing when you're listening right now and thinking like, oh, I'm a little bit lost or something. So totally fine, but then getting help to either reflect with someone else, I think that's also a very, very good way. I did it a lot by myself. Like I wrote down a lot, and typing helped me to diary everything and solve it all out. And then I decided to be more become a coach, because I wanted to have that coach besides me actually.
Yes.
And that helped me a lot. All this process to do the coaching apprenticeship for myself, which is always also a different angle than to do something. If you're really so into it, and that's why you're doing it, and not because of, like, not because I want to afterwards coach people. Yes, of course, I love to coach, but in that moment I was like, I want to learn that skills. I want to see if I love it, and if I love it, and then it can evolve into a direction that I do it as a profession. And I feel that this is the similarity, that I feel that you're also working like that, being like, oh, I would love that. How can I go there or learn this skill, and then it's matching again, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember that story that you told me about how you went into makeup, into mask building.
Prosthetic makeup.
Yeah. Do you want to tell about that story? Because I think it's very inspiring.
Back from the high school days.
Back from the high school days. Okay, cool.
Back to high school days.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, high school is the time where everyone's asking, what are you going to be when you grow up? What are you going to do next year? All these things. So I was lucky enough to go out to California. I went to Paramount Studios. My dad's actually from there, so we were seeing where he was born and, did all the touristy things. But when we went to the back lot of the film studio, it's something that you don't always get to see. And I've always liked scary movies and movies in general. And, how do they make these effects come to life on screen? I'm always like, how does that happen? Why? How did they get there? So when we went to the studio, there was a monster hanging in the corner, and I was just like, that is what I'm gonna do. Just saw it hanging there, and I'm just like, this is so cool. It's like, it's a world on set where you can make anything happen. It's crazy. Like, you can build a castle made of foam and shoot with it, and it looks like it's an actual place, right? They replicate libraries that are, some of them I think were from Germany actually, that we replicated to a T to film in it in Vancouver. So I think it's just like anything is possible on set, and I really liked that idea of every day's different, every show is going to be different, you work with different people, it's constantly moving and you're learning and trying something new. So I came home and I googled makeup schools in Canada. And then Vancouver Film School came up, and I was like, yep, this is the one. I'm gonna go here. Mom! Yelled into the kitchen because she was cooking dinner, and she's like, what? I was like, I'm gonna go to Vancouver and go to makeup school. And she's like, okay, like how much is that? I was like, oh, like, at the time it was like 30 grand. It was crazy. She was like, oh, for like 4 years? Like, okay. And I was like, no, just for 12 months. And she was like, oh, okay, good luck. So I took it as a challenge, and they're very supportive, where it's anything that was in the same city, I could live at home and they'd support me and I'd go to school. This was in another province, so I packed my stuff up and applied and went to, skip forward, delete that later. I knew how much it was to go there. I just don't like owing things, so I'm like, okay, I have to save up before you buy that shirt.
Yes.
You have to save up before you buy whatever. I didn't want any sort of like debt at all. So I was like, okay, I'll go to school in town where I can live at home, go to school, but I'm going to try to get as many scholarships and grants to like pay for that. And I worked 8 jobs while I went to school full time in my hometown. So through those 8 jobs, it was the mall, it was the bar, it was doing circus performances, I was tutoring, like doing all these things just to save up as much money as possible. So by the time I finished school here, I saved up enough to go out to Vancouver, to live there for the year, do school, straight out of pocket, which was amazing. So I was like, okay, I got the cash, let's go. So I called Vancouver Film School back again. They asked to see a portfolio, just any art things that I've done. I got into the school, drove a U-Haul out there, set up my first on my own apartment. Went to school there, and it was the best. It didn't feel like school, it was so much fun. Just learning something new every day, so I loved it. That's how I ended up out there. And my parents again were like, I don't have any film connections, I don't know art or makeup or anything like that, so good luck. Like it was kind of what I remember her saying, but it all worked out.
Nice.
Yeah.
I pretty much know what you mean, like this feeling that you made all that money and that the things that you're spending on right now is your money, basically. So that's a very special feeling. Like for me, it was the first meditation pillow that I sold. I was like 85 euros.
Yeah,
but I was like, I did that and someone buys that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is cool. That's how self-employment must feel like. Because I always, like, since I'm 18, I earned my own money. That was already something that I was used to earn my own money. But earn it by my own products or services.
Yeah, something you put your heart into, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And the time. So it's also one of those, you don't take the schooling for granted because you did work all this way to get there, and now you don't want to miss a single hour of class. So it's like, not one sick day, like I'm going to be there. And just go through and learn as much as possible. It's
full commitment. It's a very, very different commitment also then, because you're fully in. And that's very nice. So in the moment you're working in different projects, right? You want to tell a little bit about your variety, because I think that's very inspiring.
So a lot of, the big question from a lot of my friends is, what are you going to do there to make money right away? Because this land project is going to take
time.
A lifetime. A long time to build.
It's a lifetime project.
So what I did, the film industry that I was working at home was like over 100-hour work weeks. It was crazy commitment. Like, you give your life to be in the industry. Eventually you start to burn out. I stopped taking in nutrients when I eat food. Like, I was getting very, like, I don't know the word, not like malnutrition, but just my stomach problems started happening. You're getting 3 hours of sleep. Like, it's just not healthy, it's not sustainable. So at that point, years back, when I looked, I was like, okay, I need to switch it up and kind of start to step away, but it doesn't mean I don't like the industry. I like what I'm doing. How can I reshape it so it looks different? So that's when I moved back from Vancouver back home to Calgary. I started doing weddings. I started doing more commercials instead of like 6-month commitment shows. If there was a small show, maybe I'd take it and kind of start easing off of something. I feel like it's like retirement in some way, where it's like you don't cold turkey, you still need projects. Like, you need something to occupy. So started doing the weddings. I was like, oh, this is great. I can work a couple hours, and instead of 18-hour day, I can still have the evening to go for dinner with my friends or do something else. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a wedding business. Because then if I was to travel or leave, I can have a team of girls that I can hire out and be still foot in the door back at home. So just in case, as a backup plan, I can come back and just keep working. So I was like, I don't want to be like, okay, bye. And then I come back, okay, everything failed. What do I do? I'm starting again now in a place that I was living and had all this going for me in some way.
So you're pretty much building up the wedding project before you left.
Before I left,
to make sure that something is running. So that's a very smart step. But was that idea from you, or how did you came up with that? Like, would you get friends to, I don't know, chat about that, or how do you come to these steps?
So basically since COVID, a lot of this started to come up, and I worked for different companies where it's just a similar business model. But it's like, okay, how can I show up more as an artist without me physically showing up for one client at a time, 1 hour at a time? If I broke my wrist or something with my car, like anything like that happened, I'd be screwed, because you don't get sick days off, you don't get benefits, like all that kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, how can I show up more times than I can physically, and that's by hiring out different people and like delegating that out. So I'm like, okay, I'll do the admin. Not like it's super fun doing the admin, but I could also be at the beach doing the admin and know that there's people to show up and keep something running, provides work for them as well. So I just started asking friends and people that I worked with, hey, do you want to be on my team? Do you want to be on my team? And like hire out. So it's going well. I'm not full force into it because I'm trying to work on stuff here, but if inquiries come in and things are going, then I have that to continue with. And then while I'm here working in the shop with my aunt, while also having the time to work on this land project. And I think a lot of people worry about money in the way that it's like, I have to make, 3 figures a year, because it's somehow put into our brains that means everything, but I don't think it does. Like, as long as you're feeding yourself and paying the basic bills, it's like, okay, what do you need to actually get by, and how much time are you getting back? And time is so valuable.
Yes.
I think so many people, their reasons for not going and doing their passion or what they think is because they don't have enough time. I don't have time. I have to do this and this and this and this. And I'm like, I think you always have time for what you want to have time for. So what can you give up in order to get time back? And are you actually going to put the effort into utilizing it in the best way that you can?
Yeah, it's a matter of priority.
Yeah. And like a lot of people will do their work week, and the weekend is kind of about a reset, the laundry, all those things, which is also important, but it seemed unbalanced for what I wanted in life. I'm like, I don't care if it's Monday and I have a day off. I don't care if I have to work a Saturday. Like, every day is just a day, and I kind of want the life to just feel more flowy that way. So I'm like, okay, if I have, a solid day to work on something, that means so much to me to have those days off to work on it versus even trying to get into the flow of something when you have only a couple hours at the end of an evening and you're tired, you just want to put your feet up and watch Netflix. So it's like really delegating and scheduling in, whether it's your self-care or your hobbies or whatever it is. It's like, you know what, no, I'm busy on Saturday because I'm going to do an art project, right? And sometimes people will get overwhelmed by too many opportunities, and people, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? You have to go and do all these things. It's like, schedule that, but make time for your passion, because that will fuel you to get to the next place. Otherwise, you're gonna run out of time.
That's true. Yeah. Do you think you have specific values that you're following throughout your lifetime, or throughout the journey that you're on right now?
Yes, of course. The values, I mean, for me, it's to have fun. It's just life in some way. Like, I kind of hate the phrase, like, don't take life too seriously, but I think it is more like, just do it. Like, why not? Like, what's holding you back from doing
being
what you
joyful
want to
with
do?
it.
Just be playful. And I think that's the thing, is the connotation behind don't take life too seriously feels very negative in some way, or like you're doing it wrong. I think it's more just be playful, try it, and like, even if you wanted to start your own jewelry line, it doesn't mean it has to be like the Tiffany of the world or the Rolex or whatever it is. As long as you enjoy doing it and someone finds some sort of like, wow, that's so beautiful, something special, and you can create these little stories, I think that means more than being a big success. And it doesn't matter if you fail. If I did this whole project and it doesn't work, well, I got a garden, I got a cute house to live in. Like, I tried, but I don't want to be one of those people that look back at life and be like, oh, I regret this, or I wish I would have, just done this, or someone would have told me that one thing that made it happen. It's like, you have to decide for yourself. Don't wait for someone to tell you something that gives you the confidence to do it. Just do it, and know that if you fail, who cares?
And that's a very important thing, because once you're doing it yourself, the confidence comes with it. Because many clients ask me, like, how can I do that? I'm not confident enough yet. I'm so insecure about this and that. But the interesting thing is that step by step, it doesn't have to be the big step at the first. Like, it can be mini steps. And every step will be like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? But with every step, you're getting so much more security. And deciding that, like, it's a decision. It's like, I'm deciding that I'm worth it and I do it right now because my life is just once, so I want to do it. And that's very powerful.
Yeah.
And I realized that this year also very, very much, because when I went to French Polynesia, realizing that big dream of mine to swim with humpback whales, that had nothing to do with any, my work wouldn't be more successful after or whatever. It was just for myself, for my dreams.
Yeah.
And it gave me such an intense power boost. It was crazy. Like when I went, I was so excited. And then before, I also had a phase where I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I remember that even your aunt, Terry, told me like, oh, I've also been to Tahiti already. You have to go there. This is your place, man. And it was very like, yeah, it was so beautiful to see that, and also to talk with others where you feel they're open for that.
Mm-hmm.
They're open for, because there's always also some people that might be better to not tell them your ideas, because they would be like, oh, why would you do that? And then because they don't believe in it, because for themselves. So it's important to watch out with whom you're sharing that information as well. And then once I did it, I felt like, wow, I actually did that for myself. It was amazing. And when I came back, I needed quite a bit where I was like, did I just do that now? Did it happen now?
Looking at photos, like, that happened.
Yes, and still I can watch, like, it was in August and now we're here in December. So several months passed and I'm still like, wow, when I watch the videos, the clips that I did and stuff, I still feel like, wow, I've been there. And I remember I am reading a book right now that is about humpback whales as well, because my mom gave it to me before I went on the trip. And I read a little bit of it before, and now I read it again, and I felt like, wow, it's more powerful to read it now, because everything that woman is describing, I know now how it feels like. So I'm like, wow, I did this, and it's like very beautiful to just like admit, like, how do you say that? Yeah, admiring yourself, taking yourself for granted, and doing whatever feels best to you, no matter what society says or anything. For me, swimming with a humpback was one of the biggest things. Everyone was already like, oh my God, I can't. You're always talking about that, but nobody was really annoyed, because the same way that you're talking about your land and it's like, oh, and I do this and that, it doesn't even matter what you're talking about. It's so funny. It's the energy behind it, because it's like, it's this sparkle in the eyes, and when people, like, when you're smiling, you're like, oh yeah, and I want to do this and that, and it could be even whatever kind of project, but it's like this excitement that's also inspiring others, I think. And the first time I met you, because it's not that long ago that we met each other for the first time here, I felt like this sparkle where I was like, oh nice, it's so fun and joyful talking with you, and getting this light, joyful ease, that you're somehow like having around you. It's like that. I mean, so you were already now talking a little bit about jewelry and stuff, as if it's like, so you also have a jewelry line, right?
Yes, I sell some jewelry back at home as well, so that was a side hustle for the last few years, where I could, make it, I have bath salts as well, so make it at home, package it all cute, send it to the shop, and they would sell it, so I wouldn't have to stand there, because for a while my sister and I were doing markets, and you stand there all day. You have the booth price, the time that you're standing there. But I was like, okay, I really want to put things where I don't have to be a part of it as much, so I would just restock it if I was driving by whenever convenient to other makeup clients. And then all of a sudden you get a check at the end of the month, and you're like, okay, this is like, that extra spending money that I didn't have to worry, I'm going to go out for dinner, I'm going to do things with my friends. That was coming through that way. So I was like, okay, that seems to really work, and I like the shop idea. So hopefully being here, that's where I can reincorporate some of these hobbies, and I would love a pottery studio on the land, so other artists can also come and just hang out and learn from each other, and kind of do like a collaborative creative space, but also be able to sell the pottery in the shop eventually, and make some jewelry and sell on the land. I kind of, everything that is being built is around being able to pivot, because I love to just be like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to learn this, and it's overwhelming for a lot of people, but I just have the space to do it. and I can, switch it up to a macrame project if I wanted, but just have that place where you can sell it, that place where you can make it, but also have this village running to create the income and create community where you can, do better for the planet, make connections with different people, learn about people from around the world. I just think there's so much opportunity, and I think that opportunity is what drives me to do it. It's not even like an end result. Like, who cares how much it makes as long as I can eat? Who cares what status it has? Like, all that kind of stuff. And I think it's like what you said with your meditation pillows. You made it because you were excited about it, and then someone saw it and they wanted one. So you're like, oh, maybe I can sell it. And I think that's where it starts, is you do something for yourself, and then it expands out there, and that's how you get the confidence to be like, oh yeah, maybe someone actually would want to come and, live in this tiny home beside me, and, you create friends, even if it's a week or two, or like someone's a long-term renter, you don't know. And I don't have that set because I want it to evolve and be what it wants to be, kind of thing. So
true.
Not being focused on that end goal, because likely it's going to look different. Likely people aren't going to reach it in the same way because everything is always pivoting. That whole feeling lost concept is just another way to, okay, I don't know, okay, oh, there's an opportunity, run with that. So I just want it to be able to flow into what it wants to be without trying to define it too much.
It's a matter of perspective, I think, everything in life. Like, because that's to give yourself the freedom to be okay, being flexible. Okay, this is not the right way. Okay, then let's zoom out a little bit. Where is the better way then to go? And I think that's something that that can create this feeling of being stuck when you're like in front of this wall, trying to still get through that, but there is no way. There's no way. And then instead of pushing against that wall or door which is closed, just like zooming out and be like, wait a minute, what else is here? Okay, oh, there's another option. Oh, there's another option. Yeah, okay. And then it's getting, because that's what flow is, I think. Like, you can be stuck at a certain point, it's okay. But then realizing, okay, if there's no further way, then that means that I'm not on the right track or something. I think that's like, and then readjusting it and being flexible, being okay with that.
And not taking it as a no.
And not like a failure.
Like the first hurdle isn't a no, it just means, okay, turn around and look the other way. Okay, turn and do this. What skills do you have that you can apply that then might reroute you a longer way, but it still might get there? And like, you realize sometimes, even on set, it's like you ask people how they ended up working on set, and everyone's story is so different. So it's not like you have to go to school and then do this and in this timeline order. Some people, a friend asked for help and then they ended up liking it and they kept working and quit their other job. Some people went to school, did it in order. Some people had family in it, so they had a route in kind of thing. So everyone can get to the same place.
But it's a matter of doing it, because it's like
and wanting to do it.
I don't think that you or me were born with courage.
No.
That's something, and sometimes I don't even saw myself very courageous. For me it was more like, well, I love Portuguese, so I learned the language. I'm living in Portugal, of course I learned the language. For me it was so natural. I wasn't even questioning that. I was like, of course, that's why I want to go there, because I want to be with the locals and talk with them about their culture. And not in English, I want to talk in Portuguese. And I think that's something, for me, it's so natural then, that I didn't even realize, is that courageous to move abroad in another country? I'm not sure. I just followed because I wanted to.
Exactly.
Or same with like the coaching. I got coaching clients in the most funny situations already, where I was just like talking about it because I love it so much, and not because I wanted to pitch it. And then people were like, I want to first talk with you about the coaching. I was like, let's do it.
Sharing what you love, and the right people will.
And that's a matter of pulling into it rather than pushing. Like this pull marketing, where you like basically, when you're like, you are identifying like I am identifying myself as a coach. I love to be a coach. I think my clients could wake me up in the middle of the night and I would be able to coach them right now, because it's not that I want that, but
it's natural.
It's natural. It feels so good, and it's not always easy, obviously, but it's like, gives me so much fulfillment to see how they're growing. And I was coaching now more than 250 people, basically. And it changed so much throughout their lifetime. Some are still, like years ago, they still text me and be like, wow, man, you don't believe what happened right now, and
Yeah.
or sent me a picture or a video.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see this? I wanted to show you that, and it makes me so happy. It's so like nice.
Part of their journey that they think of you to just share.
Being able to spread the happiness that you're living in, like that I'm living, to others and making an impact. Like, because then yes, the money is coming in and that's a great feeling, and we all need money, and I love money and I love to sell. But it's a matter of how I earn all of that. And what you said before is very interesting as well. I've seen it in freediving. There's a nice metaphor. Like, for instance, if I put myself a goal, mostly I do indoor apnea, so it's horizontal. But if I go vertical in the ocean, down by the rope, and freediving is basically you take one breath and then go down. And I tell myself, okay, I'll go 15 meters. Then in my head's like, oh, 15 meters, okay, I want to 1 meter, 2 meters. And then I'm very much focused on this, like, oh, I hope I reach the 15 meters. And it's stupid, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But when I'm like, oh, I want to relax as much as I can, I want to enjoy being in the water, oh, I'm so curious how it feels like to just like feel on my face the water, and how does it feel like step by step going down there. And I'm like, oh, there's the safety stopper, I reached the 50 meters. I'm like, oh, that was like short now, I could go more. And then turning around, slowly getting up, and it's a totally different feeling rather than having this like, oh, I need this, I want to do that. Yeah. And then you reach it eventually even easier.
The process is better. Like, it's courting, enjoy the journey, right? But getting to the end, it's like, then what? I don't want there to be an end that I'm trying to reach. I just want to enjoy the process of getting there and make the memories along the way, see what happens. Like, I like that.
Because
right?
Yes, and a lot of people don't realize that process we're living in that is our life.
Right now.
That is the life. And that's something I realized the last weeks also very intense, because I was like, wow, we're reaching always for another goal and this and the aim and your land, then all the houses are on there and stuff. But sometimes the process to get there is even more beautiful, because now you're so excited about all of this. And then it's slowly getting there. And I'm sure there will be never an ending, because then you create something new and this and that. And then once that project is gone, maybe a different one. But to just realize right now, like that some months ago or weeks ago, we had a big wish to be exactly where we are right now. I mean, now for me, knowing the ocean is 350 meters from here, yes, and we're sitting here on a Friday morning, you know,
look at this,
having the blue sunlight outside. It was just raining. It's funny, like for 10 minutes, and now the blue sky is out again.
It's sparkly, sunny right now.
Exactly, like knowing like, oh, the flowers will be nourished now, the plants will be green again. And we are sitting here, it's a Friday morning, we had the freedom to have a breakfast together, easy going. I even had calls before that to organize all my stuff. You're gonna go soon to the boutique again, I have other appointments today. And we're just having here,
life.
you know, it's like, what's a life? We're like, we did it, you know, like, yay! Because it feels great. And for me doing the podcast also so much joy. It's so nice to talk with people about their inspiring lifetime, and others will be inspired through the talk that we're having here right now, because we're recording it, and that's for me like gives me a lot of fun. Like I feel like, wow, because nobody pays us that we're sitting here right now. But it's just like joyful, it's sharing that, and then maybe people will book my coaching, or people will have a look at your site, because I will put your Instagram in the show notes, and people have a look at your jewelry, they will feel inspired or want to be part of the land project later on or something. Yes, but that's the natural consequence out of that. It's not that we're sitting here and pitching to make that happen. It's more to enjoy that conversation we're having here right now, because for me, I'm very happy to have you here.
I think that's about purpose, right? It's like your purpose is to help people and inspire them and just create growth, right? So and no matter what way you're doing, it still feels productive to you, whether you're getting paid or not. Like, it's not about the money, it's what lights you up, and then you show up better for other things that you got to do in life. So, and
it's basically like that, whatever you're giving in the world, you get it back in the triple or multiple times. And it's like something, it's a ripple effect. It's like, I don't even do it on purpose anymore. For me, it's just like natural to give someone a compliment, or being grateful for the person to spend time together, because time is so precious. Time is something we can never buy.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
It is the most valuable thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can't control it, so
Yeah.
what do you
Better,
do with it,
it's
right?
good like that to not be able to control it. And it's funny because also the perception of time is very interesting. I had that conversation with friends also these days. It's like yesterday I went to a couple that invited me to their house, and we were about to have a walk and a little chat, and I went there at 3, ending up coming home at 10 in the night. It was 7 hours later.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Wait a minute, where did the time
Where did
go?
the sun go?
Yes, everything, what? And this is something like, your perception of time is like totally illusional. It's like, you know, like when you're enjoying the time in the moment, it just like floats and flows, and then it's like, I never even had a look, like, okay, in the evening I wanted to go to my training, so I had a look, and I was like, oh, okay, too late not to go to the training.
That's
and then I was,
time warp in Portugal, I don't know.
And then I was a bit like, oh shit, I wanted to go to training, but okay, whatever, it was so nice, you know? Yeah. So, and then I let it go again, that thought, and so I think that's very beautiful. And nice, I love that. I love it. I'm very curious how your project will like evolve and stuff. Yeah, nice. If there's anything that you would love to share with others, what would that be? Like a little spark, a little gift to give others as a recommendation or something? Or
I think if you want to do something or try it, just do it. Like, remember that it doesn't matter if you fail. You don't have to make it big, just do it, because it's more for you than what people think of you doing it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I mean, I have a similar mindset to that. And I think one more thing that's very interesting, we had a group coaching some weeks ago, and you were part of it, and you were sharing about decision making, this very beautiful way that you are doing your decisions, and I found that very inspiring, because I also have tools in my coaching how I do decisions, or how to help my clients to do a decision. And we can feel in and this and that, but that way that you did was very new to me, and I think it's very inspiring. So do you want to share that way?
Sure. What analogy did I use on this? I think what I said was, if you're stuck between 2 different decisions, then just pick one of them, doesn't matter which one, and do everything that you can, either in your head or physically within your space, without actually making the decision, to pretend that you fully made it. So it's like, if you are going to move away or not move away, whether or not it's down the street or across the world, then it's like, okay, now what do I have to do to move away? I'm going to say bye to my friends, I'm going to, tell people I'm moving, all the stuff. How does that make you feel? And really sit within it, and how that kind of like pretending to make that decision feels, right? And then you do that for a month or so, and then you switch it to the other one, and you say, okay, I'm going to decide that I'm going to stay here. Are you feeling regretful? Are you feeling like, oh, I should have done the other one? And I find when you take 2 things and compare them against each other, that's when you really know if it's the right thing for you. Not that it has to be right or wrong. You can always come back home, you can always switch it up later, but that will always unravel. But I just find it helps me kind of create the confidence in actually going forward with that. What was one of the examples that I gave you?
I think it was also being like doing one now and the next later, which I also do a lot. Like, is it this or that, or can it be both? That's something I like a lot. Like, I do that a lot if it's possible. Or do the first now and do the second later. To not be like this or that, but we can have both.
Exactly.
Most of the times.
One of our friends we were talking with was deciding between 2 places to travel to.
For instance.
And it's like, well, do both.
Yeah.
Like, which one suits your life better now? Whether it's a time frame in your schedule, something that you want to see that may not exist further down the road, or depending on the type of trip that it is, it's like, do you want to do that later with a family? Do you want to do that with a friend who said they can only do it 5 years from now? Like, what are the factors coming into it? But be open to like, okay, you can do both. Which one should I just do first?
And I think also making the decision based on now. So now the situation is like this, I have that kind of needs, that kind of values right now, I'm in this position in my life. And then for now, it will always be the right decision. And not to worry too much about, but what if in 2 months, 1 year, whatever, I change my mind? Well, then you do the next decision. Because that's, I think, something, when I was smaller, I always thought like, or younger, I was always like, if I do this decision, I really have to make the right choice because I will not change it anymore.
It's not like it's gone.
It doesn't make sense. It can always be changed. And I'm even giving myself the freedom now when my parents didn't like that at all. When I was younger, I was like ordering a pizza. And then once like all the other tables got their food and I was like, oh, this looks so much better than I
got that. I want that.
And then I was giving myself the freedom, running in the kitchen and be like, hey, can I still change? And like, yes. Okay, I want this instead. And they're like, okay, that's fine. And I came back, my parents were like, giving me the evil eye, like, you didn't do that. Like, don't do that again. And I was like, why not? I had I wanted to change, so I do it. And that's something I think we should all give ourselves freedom. It doesn't mean that like, oh, today I want this, tomorrow I want a different thing. No, like, it has to be a little bit consistent, obviously. But it's more about, if you're giving yourself the freedom to be able to change your mind, like to change your opinion about things as well, it's totally fine, I think. And then it is less of a pressure to think that has to be the right decision right now. No, there is no right or wrong. And if it feels good for you right now, that's the thing that matters. And also getting logical and heart and gut feeling together, I think, because obviously it's good to make our logical brain part of it. It makes absolutely sense. But if we're too much just on the logical, it doesn't make us happy later on. It has to click.
Interesting. I wanted to actually tell that other girl that because I was like, this is like, I feel like that's what alignment is. Right? It's when your spirit, your heart, and your head all align. So if you're thinking too much with your heart, maybe it goes this way, but you're like, oh, okay, in reality, I should have maybe done this, and you have some sort of regret or whatever. Same with the other way. It's like, oh, I chose this because it seems like the right thing to do, but my heart's over there. You're not going to be as happy. So it's like, how do you take all of the opportunities and create it into an alignment where it's like, maybe you have two decisions. Maybe that is giving you the opportunity to actually create the third decision that suits you best, and it's both. Right? Like, and what can you pull from both, depending what it is, to make it be like, oh, I actually really like this part and this part. Okay, now I'm going to join it together, and this is the best of both worlds for myself. It doesn't actually mean you don't have to actually choose between two decisions, and you don't have to choose one and never have the other one. You can do both, or you can create your own third decision.
And also sometimes just think like, okay, if you are stuck in between two, just don't decide then.
Just don't. Maybe you don't actually want either.
Either this or being like, okay, sometimes just wait a little bit and then it just solves itself. Being like, okay, maybe that wasn't that important anyways, or whatever. It always has a reason. Whatever comes up.
It's like shopping.
When I was
You're like, okay, if you're not sure which one to buy, just don't buy
anything.
Think about it. Let it be.
And I'm like, when I was younger, I was stressing myself a lot with decisions. And now it's getting better. I'm still sometimes in between where I'm like, when both are so similar and both are good, it's sometimes not easy to do the decision. But just to allow yourself like, okay, it's fine, I can try that out, and still I could make a way to get the second one. Pretty sure in most of the ways, and to be more flexible in the head. And also to realize that people that are listening now to us maybe think like, okay, it's easy for them. No, it's not. It's not. Every person struggles. Every person, no matter if it's a coach or business owner or whatever, every person has struggles. But it's a matter of, I talk with others then about it to clarify it. Mostly it's just that someone listens and I'm clarifying it myself.
Right.
So it's just like, there is ways that we all figured out for ourselves that work best. And that's just possible because we know ourselves well. And that is the most beneficial in my eyes. Like when you know yourself very well, that's something we do in my coaching a lot. Like we do a lot, the focus on personal development, understanding yourself. Good. because when you understand yourself good, it's so easy for others as well. Then they understand where's your boundaries, what's your needs, you can communicate them. It's so much easier. Everything in life is easier then.
Yeah.
It's like
all flows way better.
Exactly. Yeah. So one thing that still pops in my mind is you have this, I think you have a very impressive business mindset. Where does that come from? Do you have any logical explanation where it comes from, or what do you think?
I think it's all just still passion driven, right? And the business part, like I didn't go to business school or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's how can I do what I want and how can I do more of it? And somehow everything that I've done, even since grade 3, so my first business plan was actually grade 3. I wrote out a business plan and I took it to my principal to pitch it to the staff to allow me to make money doing people's nails in the garden at school.
Cool. How old have you been there with third
Grade
grade?
3 would be like 6, 7. 6 or 7. So in my business plan was I want to earn enough money to buy the Ripley's Believe It or Not book for the library because they didn't have the newest edition and I wanted to read it. So I was like, okay, if I want to get that book, but I don't have money, I can find a way doing something I like to make the money. And I ended up buying the book and they put my name in it. So funny. But it was just like, okay, if I want to do something, I should probably ask if it's okay. And then how do you ask and make it so that they think you're serious about it? So that was my first sort of attempt at that. But throughout it's a little bit of just like the common sense to be like, okay, if I want to do this or hire people, what do I need in order to do that? Okay, I should probably have a contract.
Logical solution making.
Like logical solution making and invoicing. Okay, how do I get paid? Okay, I need to write something that says you owe me this much for my services, and then you get paid. So you kind of just keep going until you run into the next, like, oh shoot, they're asking me for whatever it is. Okay, maybe I need a business card. Okay, I'll make a business card. Yeah. And you build it up. So it's all the just logical things, and we all know the other side of it as like a consumer or a client or anything. When you go to a therapist or you go to the mall, you know the other side of it. So if you know that other side, you can do the other, the back end, looking forward. So it's just kind of collecting all the puzzle pieces to make it flow and life easier, and however.
That's a good point that you're saying, collecting all the little puzzle pieces and then making a big out of it, because what most people do is they see the whole big one, they're like, oh my god, I'm getting overwhelmed, this is too much, and then stuck. There's like this numbness and whatever. But rather than being like, okay, I go this little step and then this little piece and this and that, it can be a mosaic, it doesn't have to be a puzzle. Mosaic is easy. There is nothing to click in each other. It can be like whatever, it will fit in the end.
If you're missing something, well, you'll learn about it.
Whatever, you glue it together.
You'll be like, oh shoot, I missed this whole this side, but what a better way to let it flow, and you run into it and be like, okay, I'm going to put that.
Yeah, and then getting people in your life that help you if you're not knowing how, like experts, like a coach or mentor, or also whatever. You have your makeup artist that help you for the wedding business. You don't do that all yourself. And you don't even have the intention to do it all by yourself. So I think that's a big point. It's funny when you were mentioning this nail stuff to read that book. It's like when I was a kid, I wanted to have the rainbow fish book. Do you know that one?
Yes.
And there was a contest with drawing. So I was part of a drawing contest then, because I wanted to win that book, and I won that book then. Yeah. So I always did it that way. I was like, oh, I want to have this book. Oh, I saw that. And then I did like a drawing, and everyone that handed in a drawing was part of the contest. And then I won that one, and it was very nice. I was very happy about that. I was also like, I don't know, 7 years old.
Right, and it's like a different route to get to the same spot. Either you could ask someone for it for Christmas as a kid, or you could save up your allowance to buy it, or you could win a coloring contest. So it's like just having that open mindset to be like, okay, there's not just one way to do something and not one way to get there. What tools and resources do I have that could get me there? It doesn't always have to be the traditional way.
For sure. And it's funny, I have a lot of examples that pop up in my mind right now. I will just share one more and then we'll slowly finish this episode. But it's like, when we were in school, I was graduating in music, languages, and biology. And we had in music, we had the task to do a movie with silent movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if everyone knows what that is, but that's basically we don't talk in the movie. It was a short movie, and then we put music on top and Mickey Mousing. Mickey Mousing is basically you put water in the glass and it's like like this sounds.
The sound effects, yeah.
So we did that, and then we made it in black and white and that stuff, and like to make it old-fashioned stuff. And then, like eventually, some months later, there was a contest in cinemas in our hometown, and they were collecting short movies, and we thought like, oh, maybe we send ours, whatever. And we had no intention at all, and we sent that, and then we won the third prize. Nice. And it was like, wow! And we didn't even knew what that means. So then we won a little bit of money, I think. It was like a little amount for everyone and cinema tickets. Yeah. And then eventually our little movie was played in the trailers before the cinema movie would start in the biggest cinema in my hometown, in 5 different movie cinemas or something. And we were like so proud on that. And we were like, wow, look at us. And this is something like, we didn't get anything big out of that, but it was just so much fun. And it was, I remember it was burned on a DVD then, back in the days. So we could take it home and give it to friends or family.
The treasure box.
Yes, and I still have that at my parents' place. And stuff like that. Or this year I was part of a freediving competition here in Portugal. And because there were just 3 women in the entire competition, I made the 3rd place of women in whole Portugal.
Nice!
And for me, I was like, I don't care if it's just 3 women. I was just so happy.
I'm still there.
Exactly. So I got a poker, I got 3 medals and all that. I got on this little stairs, like on this, where you go 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Okay.
On the stairs. And I was so happy. And then in the end, they said like, oh, and we have 1 snorkel, which is like just a snorkel, but we have 1 snorkel that we want to gift someone that was part of the competition that we value a lot. And I got the snorkel and I was like, oh, I got the snorkel! And it's nothing big, but since that, whenever I use that snorkel, and I had it with me when I was with the humpback whales, I was like, oh, this is my little treasure here.
It's like the meaning behind it, to be like, oh, I earned this. Like,
and this is, in everything in life, we can do it like that. Mm-hmm. In everything in life, if we put the meaning, if it's something special for us, that's all what matters. That makes something special in the end. Like,
do it for you.
Yeah.
And then the reward will come in ways you can't predict. Like, don't do it for the reward, do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point for the end, maybe. So the end. So I'm very happy that we had this talk here. We're very, very happy. And as I said already, I'll put your Instagram in the show notes so people can check it out as well. And you are also, if you're listening right now, more than welcome to give us 5 stars for the show and rate the show and follow the podcast. And thank you so much, Jenny. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, you're very good at what you do. So